Hey everyone, I'm Carey Pena. Thank you for listening on iTunes and Stitcher. And thanks as always for watching. We'd love to have you with us. In studio today, Celestial Williams and Jennifer O'Bannon, co-founders of a super cool, fast-growing magazine called Luca. Ladies, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
I just dig your mission. I love it. I love everything that you're about, and I can't wait to talk more about how this magazine really the idea came about and how fast you guys have grown. But I want to start with talking about the cover story that's out right now, and it features Sadie Robertson, who is the star of the hit reality show Duck Dynasty, a runner-up on Dancing with the Stars, and she is also a New York Times best-selling author, all of this at the age of 19 years old. But perhaps what is most magnificent about this young woman is that she's making a huge impact on the world with a message that she is confidently sharing. Can you talk a little bit about why you chose Sadie and what her message is?
Sure. Sadie is the perfect example of being real. She is who she says she is. From day one, when we started working with her, she was genuine, and she was everything you see on camera. That's how she really is, and that means a lot to us because that's who we want to portray. You know, we want Luca girls to be real and who they are.
Why has this mission of originality, being real, and not trying to portray something far-reaching about yourself, why has that been so important for you guys?
Well, for me, I was one of those girls that always colored outside the line, and it didn't fit in so well at school. And we know the teen years, and in the youngers as well, it's just so challenging on your own right to find out who you are and to figure out what you think your life could be, and not then to have to fit into this pigeonhole or this idea to get along, to fit in, not be bullied, to appear and talk and walk like all the others, and it's so stifling. And what we want to do is to have each girl celebrate herself as she is, with fun stories, enlivening stories, emboldening stories, and embracing stories.
And Sadie's story is pretty cool, and she keeps growing with what she's doing. So she and her squad are hitting the road on September 22nd, starting in Dallas, Texas, to embark on a 17-city Live Original tour. And the issue, actually your current issue, is the original issue, so I'll hold it up to the camera right here. And it's all about being original. Tell me a little bit more about what it means to you to be original.
You know, that's an excellent question because so many of us try to put up this shield to prevent people to see who we really are. We live in this social media world where you look at Instagram and everybody's putting up their best face, and then we look at that and we're comparing our worst day to someone's best day. And being original is very empowering. We need to really embrace who we are and really love who we are, no matter who we are. You know, it's something that is very lacking in today's world, and we're trying to stop that. We're trying to help women and girls to just feel just love for themselves, and not the prideful love, but just genuinely confident love.
Why did you guys start the magazine? I mean, how did it come about? It's you guys and another lovely lady, Christine Robertson, who came together, and the three of you said, let's start a magazine. That's not an easy task.
No, not at all. Well, we actually met about 8 years ago with the Phoenix Fashion Week, and worked together there. And then everyone went kind of their separate ways and continued on their own career path. And then an opportunity came about with another publication that we one by one joined, and then we realized we wanted to take a different route and go broader and bigger, and said, well, we know what this takes, and we're totally energized about the message that we could carry. And so we just developed it, and it hit so quickly, so wonderfully quickly.
Because it's a little bit, I mean, it's like your baby, so you're nervous, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't
Very
know if people
nervous.
are going to love it or if it's not going to gain traction.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
It was very scary to just I feel like our souls are in this magazine. It's something that we all feel very passionately about,
Very.
and we all feel like sisters. I mean, we're just very close, and it's, I think, a story in itself that 3 women can get together and put something together that's so positive, and there's no drama, and it's all positive and exciting, and the message that we're getting out there is to empower teenagers to be entrepreneurs, to join drama club, or whatever it is your dreams are.
Be a tech geek, whatever
Be a
it
tech
is.
geek.
Yes.
This fall issue has a fashion editorial for every kind of girl, from the cheerleader to the AV person. I have one in there. I have one for the homeschool girl, that we want to reach and touch everyone with our visuals. Hotly, in the magazine, of course.
And you guys have grown a fast audience. Your Instagram page is on fire. How many followers do you have now?
About 42.6, I think.
So the message is resonating. And I want to ask you, I hope it's okay to bring this up. I won't mention any names, but I happen to know that you guys are on the radar of several reality show producers. And I was told by Christine previously that one of the challenges you have is that they want to come in and see drama. They want you guys to create drama, perhaps get a storyline where the girls are pitted against one another, and you just don't want to do that.
No.
Never.
Does that feel like a sellout? I mean, it's really the antithesis of everything you're trying to accomplish.
That's exactly right.
But it's not who we are. It's not who we are in any sense. We respect each other. We value each other's opinions, and it just wouldn't happen. The drama is just a waste of time, really.
So all of the pictures, what's really unique about this issue, the original issue featuring Sadie Robertson, is that all of the pictures are pretty much not retouched, right? And why is that such a big deal?
Just Sadie's story.
Right.
So, the cover is completely untouched, and her whole feature is completely untouched, because we want girls to see who she really is, what she really looks like, that she's still beautiful. And she doesn't have any Photoshop going on. It's her. It's really her. And that, she has freckles. But you know what? Freckles are really cute.
Well, because we do fall into this trap. I mean, I'll admit this. Someone told me about this app the other day. And boy, I was on there and I thought, let me whiten my teeth in that photo. And then I started going, and then it had all these things you could make your nose. And then all of a sudden I looked at the picture. I thought, well, I kind of look like a freak in that picture. Let me go back to the original and just post that
personality
bad boy.
gone instantly.
Yes. Your character is gone.
Yeah. I wonder though, Sadie's 19 and she's lovely. I mean, she doesn't really need any retouching, but you guys were trying to send a message with this issue, and you got the photographer and your team on board. So what has the reception been, and are people getting the messages that you're trying to put out there?
I believe so. And the thing is with Sadie, she has a tour called Live Original. So we really wanted to run this feature with that in mind, and she was the perfect person to do this with. And with the photographer Jared Platt, who does such a beautiful job with his photography and lighting, it really lent to the point of we can do this and do an unretouched feature on this young lady and just let it run when there's just maybe too much emphasis on things such as that, on appearance. I've been in this business for a while. I'm not anti-retouching when it's really necessary, and that could be on multiple of things. It doesn't have to be on just an individual. But with her, it was just the perfect time to do it, and she was the perfect person to be doing it with, and it for the most part for me, when it comes to this retouching or no retouching, I have more problems with all the heavy contouring and the just absolutely taking yourself away in your appearance. Mm-hmm. And if that's what you want to do and that's who you are, I'm going to support you as hard as I can. But if there's a young lady that's not comfortable with that, I want that to be okay too, and her to feel just as beautiful and strong. That's the whole point. I just don't, we don't want all the girls being pressured to feel like they have to look a certain way.
And that brings me perfectly to the point that I was going to make right now, and that is that there is just so much pressure on young people today to be perfect when we don't really know what that means. Right. But it really causes a lot of really significant and serious mental health issues, a lot of anxiety, and we have a mental health expert in studio. She's going to come on with us in just a moment. But I just want to finish this portion of the conversation first. Jennifer, you said something to me before about your upbringing, and I hope it's okay that I ask you about this, because it really struck me when you talked about this, that you grew up in a town where there was a significant amount of prejudice, and there were some things that happened at your high school that really seemed to scar you and really live with you.
Well, it was my elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had very, very few African Americans in our community, because it's a very small, rural, southern community, farm town. And so these two girls were constantly picked on. And that just seemed like so odd to me. Why would you pick on a human being, and why would you... I couldn't understand how somebody so young would be so ugly to people, was the hardest thing. And then because my parents didn't behave that way, but I now understand they had parents that talked as ugly. And so it would be just like, well, stick with me, girls. You know, stand behind me kind of thing.
It lasted. Those memories I saw, and even again today, it's emotional for you. That really what you were witnessing was racism, flat out racism. So a big part of this mission is trying to break through all of that kind of ugliness.
Oh, absolutely.
Does it feel personally like you can look today and go, you know what, I'm following through on a mission that perhaps started in your heart all those years ago when you witnessed something so ugly? And how does that make you feel?
Like I'm doing something with my life. That it's just not, going home, eating a bag of chips after work or something like that. And that, my work is fulfilling. It's, and this is part of what we want to share with the girls too, and hopefully boys someday. I mean, I really would like to get a, boy version going too, but that you're here, let's do something with it. And usually doing the something with it, hopefully it's your passion. If it's your passion, it's going to be productive. And when you're productive, you feel better. And the whole thing is very exponential.
Yeah.
It just reaches out to, it's paying it forward in a way. It just reaches the masses. And wouldn't that be a lot lovelier place to live?
I love it. I love the message. And that's one of the things I love about having my own show, frankly. It's I can do whatever I want, and I can have change makers on who are truly living their passion and making a difference in the world. I want to show a little bit, because it's so cool what these ladies have going on. I mean, you really can feel when you see their pictures, you follow their Instagram, you really can feel the spirit of positivity in the way that they run their business, in the way that they approach their shoots. So I want to take a moment and just take you guys behind the scenes at Luca Magazine. Watch. Now I want to bring into the conversation Elizabeth Davies, who is a mental health counselor and author. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today.
Tell me, as someone who dedicates themselves to try to help people fix an assortment of ailments, you deal with people who have tremendous anxiety, mental health issues. When you see a magazine like this come out that is really trying to push an inspirational, positive self-image message, what is your reaction?
I think it's wonderful, considering that so many girls and women look at magazines and can compare to models in the photos and think that's how I should look, or compare in a negative way, so that as women we come up short. Like, my eyes aren't as pretty as hers, or my hair isn't as pretty as hers, or I'm not as thin as her.
How damaging is that compare and contrast that people do?
Well, first off, it lowers self-esteem. And self-esteem is very, very important, specifically because every decision we make in our life is based on how much we love and value ourselves. So when I have a high self-esteem and I love and value this person, then my choices are going to reflect that by making decisions that aren't destructive for my life. Like picking healthy relationships, putting things into my body that are healthy foods, picking environments that are healthy for me.
What are some of the most pressing issues? And you deal with a wide age range, but you deal with kids and teenagers. Yes. What are some of the most pressing issues today?
Well, certainly over 40 million Americans have anxiety. That is a big one. But right now with teenagers, I see a lot of cutting. So a lot of teenagers are cutting specifically because they don't, they're in so much emotional pain, and that this is a distraction when they bring physical pain to themselves. But a lot of them, I can tell a story right now of a girl who was in 8th grade at the time, 14, and she had a very good friend for many years, and her friend started calling her fat, even though she was not at all. And because her friend started calling her fat, then she started carving on herself. So this is a problem we see with a lot of teenagers is the cutting, and a lot of it is happening because of name calling and bullying, which is the number one reason in America today that teenagers have so many emotional problems, is bullying that we see in the schools or in cyberbullying.
In a bullying situation, or someone feels so distressed that they want to go home and cut into themselves, can a positive magazine like this, or being surrounded with people who want to lift you up rather than tear you down, how much impact can that have?
Well, it can have a phenomenal impact on the fact that you're perfect just the way you are, that we're not supposed to compare ourselves to anyone else. There is no one else like you. Even identical twins don't have the same ideas, beliefs, likes and dislikes. And so when we get more of the message that no one is supposed to be like us, we're not supposed to compare ourselves to others, but instead look for our own specific gifts and talents that we do well, instead of compare ourselves to someone that has a talent that we want or looks a certain way that we want to be. This will make a very big impact on just being real.
Celeste, you've traveled this road because you've been a model for many years. And talk to me about your struggle and how you've come out the other side in a very positive way yourself.
When I was about 16, I started modeling in LA, in California, and it was really exciting, and the world was glamorous, and I wanted to look like the other girls. And my body was more of an athletic build, and I played volleyball, and I loved volleyball. And it was very difficult for me to stay a size 2, a size 4. And when I did get to be a size 4, the agencies would say, oh, can you lose about 10 pounds? And to me, I thought, oh, that means I'm fat. And so I would go to the extreme, and I wouldn't eat. And it really, it made me not healthy. And so then I couldn't play volleyball. So then with the help of my parents, they kind of got me out of that world a little bit so that I could go more into volleyball and be healthy and not worry so much about being skinny. In this issue and in every issue, I make it a goal to have girls who are size 2, size 4, size 16, because it's not about being skinny or curvy. It's about being healthy. And that's the point we're trying to get across.
And you're a model for Ford today, so you obviously found success at your natural size.
Right. Now I'm a size 14, and I'm healthy. And I can eat, I can go and get ice cream, and that's okay. I don't feel guilty about that. But it's in moderation. I'm learning how to feed my body so that I feel good. And that's what's important.
So what has it done for you personally, being involved in the building of... You guys started this magazine when?
Goodness, it's only been about since February.
Bravo. Right. What has it been like for you building this magazine?
It's unreal. I feel like we're almost in a dream because of the impact that we've already had on girls. I just went to an event called Pinners Conference in Texas last weekend, and it was just so incredible to see all of these girls come up and ask for my autograph and flip through it and be really excited about something that was so positive, because they're in school. It's all drama, and it's, there's so much that they're bombarded with, and we just have this simple message of empowerment to love yourself and to be surrounded by positive things.
Where can people find you?
You can find us on www.lucamagazine.com, and you can subscribe there, and you can also look for us in several different locations soon.
And join the Instagram groupies, 45,000 and growing. Yes. Instagram. You guys do a great job. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here as well to lend your expertise, because what you have to say is so important. I'd love to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm sure there's so many things we could talk about. And one of the things I'm committed on in this show is really trying to break through and send out messages that are inspirational, but beyond the surface level.
Yep.
So thank you, ladies. Really appreciate it. And to Jennifer, who is on today as well. And thanks for listening and watching our live stream. You can always see my show on Facebook at Carey Pena or on our site, inspiredmedia360.com. We are growing and we appreciate all of you. Be sure to subscribe so you stay in close touch with us. Today's show produced and engineered by Shannon Hernandez, brought to you by Inspired Media 360. Until next time, stay inspired.